I always bragged about being able to focus for 6 hours with no issues. I often found myself in a state of flow where time seems to pass by in an instant. But then I read a study saying the brain shuts down after just 4. At first, I rolled my eyes. I thought maybe that's true for others, but certainly not for me. But eventually, the tiny doubt got under my skin. What if my so-called superpower was a lie after all? So I built the simplest test ever. 30 days, 1 spreadsheet, 1 stopwatch. No bragging and no excuses. Either I crush the study, or find out I've been fooling myself all along. All right, day number 1. Definitely not what I was expecting, to be honest. I sat here for like 6 hours, felt super productive. But in the end, what happened was I got distracted all the time. I got messages coming in, I got emails coming in, got a lot of paperwork to do, and then even had some unexpected calls that I had to take eventually. And after all, like throughout full 6 hours, I only got 57 minutes of deep work in. Not even an hour, I don't know. At first, I thought this was an outlier. But the same thing happened on Tuesday and Wednesday as well, with only 1 hour and 15 minutes and 1 hour and 40 minutes respectively. Slightly better, but still far from the 6 hours I had bragged about. To be honest, at this point I already caught myself saying things like, who even cares about how much deep work I get? But then something happened. Alright, it's day number 5, and guess what happened? I'm sitting here with my MacBook on the couch. I know, not the best place to work probably. And I was trying to finish a blog post when I completely forgot about the timer running and all of that. And now look what the timer says. It's 3 hours, 47 minutes in, and I didn't even realize. Here it was. That's the feeling I was longing for. The result I expected for every single day. Being so focused on my task that I even forgot to eat. But in total, I only got about 10 hours in the first week. Merely half of the magical 4-hour ceiling. I wasn't giving up just yet though. Actually, I was more convinced than ever that I could do it. I just had to tweak some things and watch the numbers climb, I said. But before we uncover what I did differently, let's first talk about what deep work is and why it matters. If you're already familiar with the concept, feel free to skip forward. The term deep work was coined by Cal Newport, author of the book with the same name. He describes it as the high-leverage, cognitively demanding work, like writing, coding, or solving complex problems. Deep work is often the part that truly moves the needle, the one that creates real value. Everything else, like emails, meetings, or paperwork, is so-called shallow work. Multiple large studies say the average knowledge worker gets about 2.5 hours of real focus a day. And this really surprised me, because that's only 1/3 of the typical workday, or put in another way, more than 5 hours of shallow work. When I saw that red line, the engineer in me thought, challenge accepted. Therefore, let's get back to week 2. My first week was time blocking. On Sunday evening, I collected a couple of high-impact tasks and carved out slots in my calendar to tackle them. This is part of my 4-step weekly planning system, which I break down in another video. Just tip here if you're interested. And the effort paid off. By Wednesday, I had already logged 8 hours, and on Friday, I finally crossed that 4-hour line for the very first time. Week total, just over 15 hours, which felt huge compared to week 1. At this point, I was hooked. I could feel the momentum. Maybe, just maybe, I could make 4 hours the default. And to do so, I leveraged a webcam, a handful of friends, and the strange power of silent co-working. The thing is, 2 weeks in, I realized something. Some days started really strong, while on others, I was procrastinating for hours. Turns out, working solo and remote is both a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, you have maximum freedom, but on the other hand, the exact freedom is what makes starting the hardest part.
I somehow had to find a way to keep myself accountable consistently. So I tried something new. I pinged a few friends, spun up a co-working channel on my Discord server, and asked them to join the call whenever they were working as well. This method is called body doubling and essentially means working in parallel with someone else. It doesn't really matter if it's in the same room or if it's in a video call. All that matters is the presence of another human. To be honest, the first session felt pretty awkward. Knowing that my camera was on, even though I wasn't paying attention, was weird. But it worked. We ran 3 sessions that week, and I crossed the 4-hour mark every single time. In total, I was just shy of 22 hours in that week. More than twice as much as in week 1. And it didn't even feel like grinding. It actually was easier than before. Not only for me, but for everyone joining. By the way, if you want to try this yourself, go and join our Discord server using the link in the description below. It's free and new faces are always welcome. I'm there most mornings and we aim to do at least 3 sessions per week. Now, after a successful week of body doubling, I ask myself the obvious question. What if we did this every single day? And well, that's what we did in week 4. By now, everything felt automatic. Wake up, brush my teeth, get a tea, open Discord, start the timer and go. Showing up wasn't willpower anymore, but more like muscle memory. By now, the 4 hours stopped being a lucky spike and became the default instead. Co-working every single day turned the start of my day into a cue my brain couldn't ignore. There was less getting ready and more of just doing. When the dust settled, my weekly average was 5 hours and 15 minutes. Over 26 hours of deep work in a single week. And my personal best? 6 hours and 2 minutes in one day. After day 1, that would have sounded impossible, and now it was routine. So what did 30 days of spreadsheets, timers and silent video calls actually teach me? Well, more or less 4 things. Number 1. Track it or it's fiction. Remember day 1? I felt productive for sure, but the timer said something else. The takeaway, until you measure it, your gut is just storytelling. Number 2, ritual beats willpower. The same mug, the same playlist, camera on at 9. Those cues turned focus from a decision into a reflex. Number 3, body doubling works, even on mute. On co-working days, I crossed the 4 hours consistently. Quiet company gives you an unfair advantage, especially when it comes to deep work. Number 4, respect the tank. While we can go beyond 4 hours in total, 2 hours seems to be the upper limit of a single focus session, according to science. I was able to hit 5 or 6 hours, but only with long breaks in between. And the emphasis is on long here, not just toilet breaks. For example, go for a walk, meet with friends, or just meditate. Never force it. Following these 4 learnings, you should be able to increase your deep work by at least 50%. And if none of this seems to move the needle, maybe the problem isn't really deep work at all, but misalignment. Check out my previous video, How Misalignment Burns You Out, even when you're well rested. It will help you to realign before you optimize. And now, thanks for watching and see you next time.